These are the noises that I usually make whenever I do the sound test for these videos. Anyways. Hello friends, the planet community lives again. As you can see here, I have successfully managed to back up my drunken boast that I will be able to build a functioning computer machine and have it boot to Windows 10 by using a bunch of random parts I got at the Best Buy. Surprisingly, this fell well below the $2,000 budget I originally had for this thing, which is kind of a sign that I might be doing something right. I've still yet to do some tests to see if it can actually run some of the editing stuffs I need, but as you can see here from the finished product, shit's clearly not exploding or bursting into flames this time, which means I've obviously done something right. Now for the sake of history and posterity's sakes, here's a somewhat detailed log of me building this particular computer machine completely from the ground up. Right, enough of the formalities, let's go build some shit. PC case at the ready, air conditioning at full blast. Let's try my hand at actually trying to build this PC. Alright, let's get this baby open. Happy Christmas, everybody. Oh yeah. Merry Christmas, Phase of Lead Planet. It really is a thing of beauty. Kind of hard to pull this thing off one-handed when I literally have the camcorder in one hand, but I'll try to make it more dramatic than it needs to be. For the record, the PC case I'll be using for my build is a Fractal Design Dark TG Meshify C. The TG standing for tempered glass, so I can eventually see all the computer machine parts in here. And keep in mind that it's a dark TG, which means I probably should have had better lighting for this, but this is still a very fine PC case. I know there's other case manufacturers like Leonly and Antec that also make very good PC cases, but I've looked on the specs and shit, and it should work for my fucking build. Now I really wish I would have got some lightings or maybe some background there instead of my closet. I'll find my way around it. Okay, without further ado, let's take off the mighty screws that hold this thing together and hopefully not drop the fucking tempered glass part. Ready? There we go. Don't want to break the tempered glass because this thing is not cheap. Well, actually it's like $125-ish. Yeah. And don't worry, there's film on here so I can handle it with my bare hands. Now there we go. Now we can actually see what the hell's inside this thing. You see, simple problems require simple solutions. This is the inside of my Fractal Design Meshify C case, for the record. Oh, it's got a case fan right in the middle there, so it might interfere with the AIO cooler. But that's okay, I could probably put that up there. And you can mount one on. And now for another establishing shot of this PC case. You see, if Walmart would have actually had some balls and actually had these things on the store shelves instead of having me to go on the online store, this would have been getting this thing would have been a lot easier. There's dust filters at the top and bottom parts of this thing. It's some high-tech shit right here. I love it. Alright, let's see if I can do this. So it's taking off the back panel of a regular PC. And there's a box here! Perfect! Screws and shit! That saves me a trip to the fucking hardware store. Alright, now for this motherboard thing. But before I end up forgetting or some shit, you gotta install these things. They're called standoffs. They're little tiny cylindrical screw things which you screw on the back here. The holes kind of vary depending on what type of ATX motherboard or whatever that you have. Basically, you put one of these screws in right here, attach to the motherboard, and then you get a separate set of screws to screw them in as well. What this does is it prevents the motherboard from shorting out and shit by touching the PC case. It's important, a little bit important, especially if it's something like an X570, where it's not cheap. Thankfully, PC cases should have the things that you need, including this standoff tool, which I'm assuming that you put at the end of a screwdriver or whatever. And these should be the screws that I used to install this thing after this as well. And it even comes with a nice staticky baggie too. That's nice. I like that. Nice touch, Fractal Design. I'm a newbie at this, can't you tell? Okay, let's hope it doesn't roll into the dry bay this time. This goes... on Yanda. No, you're not fucking trying to escape from me this time. Get in the fucking hole, cracked out. No, you're not falling into the fucking dry bay again. SATX is here. Oh no. You cocksucker. See, that's not so fucking hard now, was it? Fucking evasive little bitch. I can just picture somebody being all like, "Hey, Phase of Leap Planet, I saw that one video of you drunkenly trying to assemble a PC thing together, and it kind of inspired me to start building PCs myself." And then I'd look at you guys like, "Oh, that's kind of inspiring that I'm sort of inspiring people with my drunken, like, stumbling antics and all that." But most importantly, I'd probably be like, "People watch my videos?" Let alone, no, don't go inside the cable thing. Maybe I'll actually get more than 100 views in this. Oh, hell, the fucking coffin corner. That's not too bad, I think. It's good in, but right goddamn fucking... Oh god. That's a bit of a tight squeeze. Oh god, I'm touching the fucking case fan. Ew. Because this screw doesn't want to fucking go in right... No. Gravity, can you stop fucking with me? These little screw thingies here should be able to hold the motherboard into place. I think this is similar to what a SATX should be. So yeah, these things are pretty much the difference between like the motherboard working and the motherboard shorting out because it went in contact with the PC case. Okay, time to uninstall the screws on the power supply. This thing, a Corsair RM750 750 watt power supply. You see, I like to do a lot of things one-handed, like holding a camcorder while I open this power supply box. This is like the modern equivalent of like unwrapping a Christmas present. It opens like a shoebox too. There's the old power supply with the fan on top, just in case I need to do the RTX or whatever. Yeah, it's also a modular power supply. More zip ties, even though I still have plenty of them right here when it comes to my PC case. Out you go. Silica gel. I can't wait to eat this shit. And here are all the cables that are conveniently provided for this modular power supply. I'm actually kind of glad that they labeled like some of these, which makes things a lot more convenient and a lot less confusing on my part. Because I know for sure this is the thing that plugs shit into the power, and this is the thing that it looks really cool. But yeah, when it comes to like modular power supplies, yeah, it's like, oh, cable management and all that stuff. But you have to realize that when it comes to like cables for modular power supplies, the part that connects into the PSU, they are unique to like that particular make and model. You can't just mix and match with like Corsair and like Thermaltake PSUs or Antec ones, because they all have their unique like pin configuration that goes inside like the power supply itself. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're using cables and not mixing and matching with like power supplies of different developers, because you don't want like the PSU like completely imploding on itself because you used the wrong cables. And personally, I would prefer like a semi-modular like power supply, but yeah. This is how things go here in the modern computer machine making world. Also, when it comes to like computer machine making, be sure to put your beer in a completely separate spot, well away from any of these electronic device things, because you don't want to be spilling any alcohol on these particular computer machine parts, because they are quite pricey. Anyways, enough talk. Let's install this thing onto the other thing. Okay, making sure that the important internal parts are going on this side. Making sure that this thing is turned off. because that's important. We just slide the thing there, have the fan, making sure to put the fan thingy at the bottom. Oh yeah, make sure that you have the holes aligned in the right place. Just simply secure this shit in place, and well, the motherboard obviously goes here, but uh-oh. Gotta keep this thing secured, otherwise it will, like, I don't want it jumping all over the place. Fuck you, tiny ass screw, trying to fucking leave instead of getting into the fucking PSU. Screw on properly. There we go. The rest of them should be perfectly fine and secure, except for this little bitch that doesn't want to screw in the fucking thing properly. So, if you've been doing it properly, shit should be secure, and I'm gonna go for the gym for a little bit. I'll be right back. Thankfully, on modern power supply unit things, there's already like screw holes for mounting in the onto the whole PSU mount. So there's one here, and they're all in a similar location. So it should be pretty easy for you to figure out if you've installed this thing upside down or whatnot. Now I really gotta be careful in handling this thing. A thing of beauty. Well, obscured by the shiny fucking plastic. Ah, perfect. It has cables and shit. Ah, perfect. This thing comes with a lot of cool shit, including a Wi-Fi adapter thingy. Okay. I think I managed to get it out of its case without it exploding on me. Because when it comes to like sensitive computer machine parts, like a fucking motherboard, yeah, you kinda have to handle it as if it was those green orb thingies from like that movie The Rock. You gotta handle them really carefully, otherwise it'll explode on you. Also, the DVD thing. That, I wonder if there's a way to install an external DVD on something that's like mostly consists of USB 3.0 ports. There. Now, let's do some very carefully get that. Now for the all-important Ryzen 7. Yeah, no cooler. And the CPU's like right there. The old does the fucking thing. It's mostly just air, but still a damn good processor or CPU thing. So let's install this thing. Real shiny. It's gotta be installed a certain way. Knees weak, arms are heavy. Something about mom's spaghetti. It's gotta be installed the right way, otherwise it will explode. I did it! It worked! It didn't explode on me! Let's carefully put this thing down. And it should be secure. Now for the whole putting this thing into the PC case thing. Normally I'd apply the thermal paste right here if I was going for like a regular air-cooled thing, but for this build I'm using like an AIO cooler, which I will most likely be installing after I have this thing installed into the PC chassis itself. But now for the part where I try to install the RAM on here without it exploding. Okay, so for the record, I got myself a 2-pack of these Corsair Vengeance Pro. 16 gigabyte DDR4 at 3200 megahertz, like ramage. So, according to what the manual says for this particular motherboard, I gotta stagger the RAMs on both A1 and B1. No touching that, and now I gotta install it a certain way. So, without further ado, I'm gonna. I really gotta get a tripod for this. Yeah. Sexy RAM. It's not exactly G-Skill Trident Z, but or Z, but don't worry. I'm still gonna apply the thermal paste at one point once I got this thing installed. But for now, let's get myself some RAM on. Easy, steady. If I remember, it's there. We go. One chipset down. Second one to go. Alright. Fit. Yeah, there we go. Nice, beautiful clicking noise. And it automatically locks in. Don't worry, I'll still apply the thermal paste. Installing an M2 drive should be pretty simple on this thing, because I know this thing, I gotta take it off because it's like the heatsink or some shit. Anyways, for the purpose, I'll be using one of these with multiple connectors, because when I was choosing an M2 drive, I was like, oh god, what if it's incompatible? So I decided, I'll take no chances and get one with both holes. Even though I'm pretty sure most M2 drives and motherboards are compatible with that thing right there. So, let's open this thing up. Ooh, sexy. Alright, 500 gigs should be good enough to install the operating system on. And I will apply the thermal paste on there, so do not worry about that. That'll come after. Oh yeah, I just remembered now. This thing's a double-sided M2, so it probably doesn't need this thermal pad thingy. You know what, I'm just gonna install it on the toppermost like M2 drive and not the one with the heatsink. More standoffs. That's gonna be a bit of a joy installing on this thing. Okay, standoff should be good to go. And the important thing is that I didn't drop it, which probably would have been a bad thing. Now for the M2 drive. Easy, easy. Time to play some Bomb Squad up in here. Okay, and now we know why the tiny screws exist. Because it's to prevent this thing from flopping up and down like a... Yeah, this would be a lot easier if I didn't have fucking Shaquille O'Neal fucking hands. Just install this screw here, and that should... that's pretty much about it for installing an M2 drive. Obviously there's a heatsink thingy for here and here or whatever, but it's not a Western Digital black, so it should be fine. Anyways, time to take this decorative panel and see if I can put it on the very end there without killing myself. Yeah, okay. Fuck. You gotta wear like puncture-resistant gloves, otherwise you'll cut yourself. It should work perfectly fine. Now to install the motherboard on this thing. Alright. Motherboard, PC case. Seems epic enough. All I gotta do is not drop this thing on the way to install here. And maybe I should have gotten rid of this fan case here, but sometimes I don't plan things through. Anyways, let's see if I can install this thing here without dying. Alright, that's considered a sign of progress. Now to actually try to hook up this thing. And yes, I will apply the thermal paste. For the record, I have all these in already like aligned in here for show. So, screw 2 right here. Make sure you don't screw them in too tightly, otherwise the motherboard will short out and die. This fucking getting this screw in here was a complete fucking bitch. And yeah, I tried to like put it in there, it fell in through there. Let's see if I can get. There we go. Yeah, this fucking corner can go eat a dick. This one right here. Make sure this one all nice and secure and not fucking slip and accidentally stab the motherboard. This one in the middle here is for maybe reference or something. Okay. Get in there. Make sure I don't accidentally drop my screwdriver, because, yeah, that would be bad. Time to go switch to left-handed mode. There we go. Changing hands. It's another one of those hard to get to position things here. Let's secure that fucking coffin corner. And I think one more screw here. Hopefully case fan not in the way too much. Alright, and that should about do it for installing the motherboard onto the PC case. And yes, I will install the thermal paste. Now, time to take a little break, and I will be right back. Just a reminder that if you ever get stuck at any point while building a computer machine, it is okay to take an abnormally long time for making this video to look at the manual for these components, which is usually provided with all new parts if you buy this stuff brand new. You gotta take off the front part of this case in order to remove the drive bay?
The manual should provide a somewhat detailed explanation of what shit does, where shit goes, and how shit works.
Yeah, that's not yeah, the manual for the AIO cooler that I just bought kind of is telling me otherwise, so somebody's clearly dropping the ball here. And what if the AIO cooler has, like, its own dedicated fan hub?
So if you're somebody like me who has literally never built a computer machine before and whose only knowledge of computer machines, internals, comes from like 2 or 3 hours of PC building simulator, it is okay to chill out a bit and read up on some details before you go on to your next step.
At least you're filming me while I still have clothes on. Alright, break is over. Welcome back, my friend, to my video where I attempt to build a PC. For the record, this particular case has like a pair of USB 3.0 like ports and audio built right into it. So yeah, this is a little bit important because you do want like the PC to turn on when you push the button. So just force these cords through here like I'm delivering a fucking baby. These particular cables right here, when connected to the motherboard, should be able to have this thing function, as well as the power button here. These are the various connector things that connect to, I think, this port and that port of the motherboard. I mean, if you don't have this thing connected to the motherboard, you'd be like, ugh, I'm turning this thing on and it's not fucking working. So yeah, this is pretty much the purpose of these cables. Holy shit, these things are fucking tiny. You know, times like this, I kind of wish I had like Ninja's stupid prissy girly hands so that it'd be a little bit more precise when doing some precision shit. Cause yeah, might be a little bit of a tight fit for me and my fucking hoof hands. USB 3.0 here should be about here. Gotta make sure it's secure. But it does it for the USB 3.0 module thing on the front of this thing. And for the audio, which should connect to this thingy right here. Okay, now it's time to perform some open heart surgery up in this biatch. Jesus Christ, you gotta like fucking shove it in there like that. Okay, now to figure out exactly where the hell these tiny things go. Again, I like to point out, I'm actually kind of glad that they properly labeled these so that I know exactly what the fuck I'm planning into this thing here. I don't know if my camera will be able to maneuver around it, so I'll just show you finished results. Shit should be connected to the main, the case to the motherboard should be connected now. Now, it might look like I'm doing this semi-competently, but that's mostly because I did a shitload of editing. What you're kind of happening off screen is me having to, yeah, getting these in here was kind of a bitch. Plus, I kind of made the mistake of installing the top one first before the bottom. Because, yeah, that is a little bit, the bottom one right there, the reset. You might not see it, but yeah, it requires a lot of precision. And now for a nice unboxing of this nice shiny AIO cooler. It's like a Christmas present. I love it. Let's see. It goes this way. Now to open the box real slowly so I can cram as many minutes as I can. Yep, and these are the contents. Let's go see what the hell's inside. This thing comes with case fans. Wait. Oh, I see. That's how it works. The actual radiator thingy's right here. Or I could just... Ah, you gotta do it yourself? Now for an establishing shot of all the parts that come with this AIO cooler. It even comes with styrofoam! And an Allen key.
Oh goody, how much progress am I gonna lose this time?
How do I get rid of... Ah! You just pull them off. Ah, that makes things a little bit easier. Get rid of the Intel chipset thingies there and replace it with a good old AM4. There we go, that's a nice AMD based like backing right there. Oh, why would you put a case fan there? I got yes, shroud in here first. I better be extremely careful and put this on its side because, yeah, cables over there. Don't want to end up, you know, destroying the universe. Now to, and that is how you get rid of the frontal case fan of a Fractal Design Mesh 5C. I will probably use this for later, or it's maybe a spare case fan. Now to install the AIO cooler. Times like this, I really wish I had like a tripod for this camera. And there we go, there's one down. Oh, and don't worry, I'm still going to apply the thermal paste. I just got to install the standoffs for the AIO cooler thing that mounts around the CPU first. It's important. Yeah, these standoff screws, they have like two sides. The one with the larger, like the larger screwy end, it goes right into the motherboard. There you go. That's $15 well spent. For the record, a single jab of thermal paste right in the middle of the CPU should be perfectly fine. For another nice angle of me, like, carefully trying to put the CPU part of the AIO cooler onto the mounting screws. That was easier than I thought it'd be, especially trying to connect these things to a loose fucking backplate. Now the reason why I got myself a 240mm one of these, there are larger like AIO coolers out there, but according to this case, you kind of have to get rid of the drive bay. It might be hard to see because the fucking lighting is in a weird place. There we sorta try to go. Accidentally hit the zoom button. There's one right there. One in the middle here. I do a lot of things one-handed. Oh yeah, there's also one of these fucker screws right here. Come on. Yeah, me that. I will. I'm just concerned about getting this thing installed without it's falling apart on me. Alright, and that should about do it for the installation of this thing here. Okay. Now to carefully click this fucker back into place. And motherfucker. There we go. Don't worry, that snap is normal. It functions, and that's how you install an AIO cooler. The wiring and shit will come shortly after. Okay, now that's been established. And make it a little bit easier to install the case fan thingies. I like this. Keep this bag away from children. Do not use in cribs. Do not allow babies to get access to your computer machine parts in the first place. Why are you letting babies and small children near your computer machine parts in the first place? Keep them locked up. And better yet, don't have babies. I really hope I'm installing these the right way. I hate these fucking corners. Bottom one should be easy because they don't have that as much bullshit with the RAM chips in the way. The end result of installing the fans on the radiator of an AIO cooler should look similar to this. Okay, so this AIO cooler has two cables. So let me get this straight. The manual wants me to connect the radiator fans to the CPU and CPU up thing, you know, the thing that's directly connected to the CPU, and, you know, not the cable that's directly connected to the pump thingy that's directly connected to the CPU? Am I getting things... Yeah, that's not the manual for the AIO cooler that I just bought kind of is telling me otherwise, so somebody's clearly dropping the ball here. And what if the AIO cooler has, like, its own dedicated fan hub, which this thing pretty much does? What if it has its own fancy RGB fans? I'm pretty sure they connect directly to that thing, but this thing comes with, like, its own fan hub, so what do you gotta do about that? And now to install what Corsair likes to call Commander Core. Okay. RGB numero uno. This will be fan number 1. Seems simple enough. Okay, and this should be fan numero 2. Number 2. and fancy ass RGB, so I gotta find some place to put this. Maybe the drive bay? USB 2.0. There we go. Okay. Thankfully this thing has 2 USB ports, so I'll be able to install a separate module, which I have yet to attain. This thing doesn't have USB 2.0 ports, which means that I gotta go and like buy a separate module, but that'll come later. All I had to do was a simple solution of putting my fan controller in one of the drive bays. Hey, where else was I gonna mount it? Here? Oh yeah, there's also a temperature like connector thingy, which you can use to like plug in an external like temperature reader device on this fan controller commander core thing. I'm probably not going to be using that. It's completely optional, and I'm just mostly interested in getting this thing to work. And the other one connects directly to the fan hub thing, which I had installed in the drive bay. Yeah. It kind of took me a little bit of an embarrassingly long time to figure out exactly what the hell this cable is. You know, the one that connects directly to the fan controller commander core thing. Yeah, apparently this thing's a SATA thing, which uses the same type of like connection as like hard disk drives and like STDs and stuff. Yeah, I'll get to that when I eventually plug this thing into the power supply, because apparently the power supply connectors, it has like an adapter that connects like SATA devices directly to like the power supply itself. So this one connects directly to the power supply, which I'll get to at one point. Oh, and in case you're wondering, these cases here, most of these modern like case fans have like 3-pin adapters, and the motherboard kind of clearly has 4. Don't worry, there's a way to connect the 3-pin onto a 4-pin. Okay, yeah, now to connect this thingy to one of the various fan controller things. Now there might be I got a little bit confused because there's a port called the AIO pump and the CPU fan thing. I think I might want to plug this thing into the CPU fan thing on the motherboard, because AIO pump, I'm pretty sure is for one of those custom water built things, whereas this is just an AIO cooler, one of those custom water built things with the pipes and shit. That's a little bit too advanced, and plus I might screw that up, so I'll just simply plug this thing into the CPU like thingy. Okay, connect the CPU fan to this. There we go, and that should plug the CPU fan to the CPU cooler itself. Yeah, there's also a CPU optional thing, but I'm assuming that's just for a separate fan entirely. Frankly, I consider this a sign of progress. I managed to get the AIO cooler installed in this particular session, as well as connecting a few of the fans together. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I will see you guys all in the next video. See you all around. This is the reason why I kind of put off building a PC until like 2 or 3 months ago. Presented to you all, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 Ti, I think the Founders Edition, but it's not exactly the Asus ROG Strix RTX 3070 that I originally wanted, because that was a special order, just like everything else I fucking wanted for this thing, but I figured it was either this or 3080 Ti, which would probably set me back about $1,500, and you know, it actually seems quite satisfying seeing one of these things actually being used for gaming and not for, you know, mining some kind of crappy cryptocurrency or whatnot. Alright, let's open up this box of chocolates and see what's inside. Yeah, it's so great to see like one of these things being used for actual gaming and not for like mining some guy's shitty fucking artwork of some bored monkey. Thank God that fucking trend has crashed and burned. 3060 Ti, I think it's the Founders Edition. Truly is a thing of beauty. Yeah, there's nothing really too special about this particular establishing shot. It's just a picture of the nice case, a couple of the manuals, the card itself, and one of those adapter thingies which you use to plug into, I think, the power supply. For the record, these things are usually installed on the top one of these things, so let's see, I gotta unscrew, I think, these 2 particular PCI slots. Yeah, if this is something like EVGA's like card, I'd be installing like at least 3 or 4 of these. This one here. a graphics card that's actually gonna be used for editing and video gaming. That's gonna be like a rarity in these fucking days of cryptocurrency. Oh wait, I forgot, crypto mining has crashed and burned. Ah yeah, this truly is a thing of beauty. And there's cords in my way. So let's see, to install, I gotta make sure this clip is there. So I can... Ah, perfect, it just clicks in there. There we go. Because these GPUs, especially this thing, this might be like the lower end of like the RTX 3000 series, but this thing still set me back like at least $550. And that's in Canadian money, so in US dollars, that's probably like, I don't know, $48.23, but yeah, these things are not cheap. Seamless, automated process. You know, every time I see one of these things, I keep thinking, how is it not falling down? I think the most difficult part of like installing a GPU is actually finding these things in stores. Like if in all my trips to the Best Buy, I've only seen these things like once. There's only one of these things available. Only one of these things that is less. It was either this or a 3080 Ti, which probably might make my power supply explode. I think a 750 would be good enough for a 3080. Plus those things cost as much as a used car. Let's see if we can install some power cables on this thing. Yeah, like just like the power supply, these things come like unique to this particular graphics card, so I probably should suggest using the one that came with like this thing. Can't find a PlayStation 5 anywhere, but yet I can find one of these things and install on my computer machine thing. And just for posterity's sakes, this will be this is the PC before I start plugging in all the power shit. God, getting the lighting to work in this shot was a fucking nightmare. I really wish I had production value. We have a couple of PCI slots, which attaches, which no doubt attaches a GPU to like the power supply. And there's 3 of them, just in case you have one of EVGA's giant fucking honking like graphics card things. We have a trio of like SATA connectors, which you can use to connect like external storage mediums like SSDs, hard disk drives, and that fucking fan hub thing, which I didn't even realize had a SATA connector until I looked it up. There's an accessory one with a 4-pin adapter. This is the important one because this connects the motherboard to the fucking power supply. And of course, the all-important plug shit into the mains, which I will no doubt be using way later once I make sure this thing doesn't explode when I like plug it in. Anyways, let's connect some cables and shit. Oh, don't worry, the label is meant to be upside down in this particular power supply. I think the RM1000 is pretty much the same thing. I think this particular power supply was meant for like one of those weird, obtuse cases. Sort of like the Colin Big Chungus that's built off an internet meme, those types of things. But yeah, as you can kind of see, it's gonna be a little bit of a tight squeeze trying to fit all the cables and shit in there, so hopefully I do this in the right order so that, yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I wish I had like little tiny hands. Oh, of course I could always get rid of the drive bay, but you know, that would make too much sense. Oh yay, I can tell this is gonna be a fucking nightmare. Thankfully I got rid of all the shit that's in the drive bay first, so I'm gonna do and plug in this fan hub commander core thing that I just took out, because it has a SATA port and all the SATA connectors are way in the back there. And I think I realized what the difference between a 4 SATA and a 3 SATA is, because a 3 SATA has like 3 of these fucking connectors instead of 4, which kind of confused me at first because I'm like, where the hell do I plug this in? But apparently these things daisy chain together, so it doesn't really matter. So let's okay, let me just thankfully there's like 6 of these fucking things in the back, so get in the hole, you bitch. There we go. Plugged in one SATA thing. Get the fuck through the fucking hole, you cracked out motherfucking... There you go. And now to plug in this shit. Hey, and now to plug in the graphics card to one of these slots right here. Make sure you use the 8-pin adapter thingy of this thing, otherwise it will explode. Okay, and that should be for the graphics card. Now force this cable in through here. I'm kind of glad that these things are clearly labeled so that I don't accidentally plug like the graphics card thingy into the motherboard. But just daisy. Oh, it just connects together like that. So I assume I just put you onto the top there. There we go. Graphics card connected. EVGA Kingpin is pretty much out of luck because it requires like 3 of these things, but plugging one of the motherboard cables. Okay, CPU mother cable here. See what I said about doing things in order, otherwise I have to go all the way through here? This one should be a little bit of a cinch. There we go. That takes care of the one that plugs on the top of the motherboard. This is now to connect one of the ends of the motherboard to power thing. And it usually goes this way. Hey, thanks Ant-Man for helping me with those hard to reach spots.
Fuck you, physically plan, get better production values.
And now for this big chunker that usually goes to the side right here. Get over. Okay, it should be... There were holes in the top there, so I didn't have to feed that cable through there and that one through there. I could have just like... I don't think about things at points, but as long as this thing functions perfectly fine, I will be okay with it. Okay, and that should just about do it for the basics of how to build a PC and stuff. I think I have everything all put together with that so it won't fucking catch on fire this time. But when it comes to like progress and all that important stuff, it's okay to take a picture with yourself. Wait, why is my cell phone bulging out like this? Really? Glue? This thing's being held together with fucking glue and sellotape? You think that modern cell phones would be held together with like micro screws, but seriously, glue and sellotape? Is that really how people are these companies are manufacturing their fucking phones these days? Embarrassing. Okay, well either that or the battery on the thing is about to explode. And considering that this is a Samsung Galaxy and not an iPhone, yeah, it might be a bit of a problem because Samsung actually has good batteries that aren't gonna fucking die out after 2 years. Yeah, I should probably consider like replacing the battery so it doesn't bulge out like this. But unlike Apple, these things actually still function. I mean, it's not like Apple where it's like, yeah, the battery is made out of like dog shit and hipster gear, so yeah, the cell phone straight up doesn't work. Whereas this thing still functions, it just needs to not bulge out like that. Hello my friends, and welcome back to week 3 or 4 of my attempts at building a PC. Yes, I know, I like doing things that don't involve this YouTube side hobby. In this particular section, I pretty much have all the cables and stuff all set up and things. I'm just gonna do a couple of tests with the peripherals and see if I can install Windows 10 and have this thing boot. Okay, so this is a test of me testing out this monitor thing to see if it works. Okay, let's see if it lasts for more than 10 seconds this time. That's the sound of a PlayStation 4 starting. At least I know the HDMI works. If it works for a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, it will definitely work for a PC. Yeah, this is why you should invest in getting a perfectly new monitor instead of trying to get one that's refurbished, because chances are that these new screens that I just bought brand new, they actually fucking work. And the power supply for these things don't just crap out after 10 seconds, so I don't have to go back to the computer store in order to choke a bitch. This thing has a PS2 port. Are you shitting me? That's awesome. So I could plug in a keyboard or a mouse from the 90s as a backup just in case these shiny new peripherals start breaking down. But it's Razer, so it should be perfectly fine.
I mean, granted, SteelSeries also makes some very nice looking gaming mice and keyboards, but I always like the look of Razer stuff, especially when it comes to these stupid YouTube partners that have these fancy ass fucking computer setups with their RGB lighting. Now I have one too. Oh ha ha ha. Yeah, but yeah, I always liked the look of Razer, especially back when I was in high school. It looked really fucking cool during the early seasons of Robot Wars, despite breaking down at the worst possible times in Series 2 and 3. And there was that Series 8 thing. even though it probably would have gotten wrecked by carbide anyway.
Let's see. Ooh, oh yeah, baby. Sexy, clicky, mechanical keyboard sounds. Love it. It'll even go better with RGB lighting. Yeah, this thing even comes with a wrist rest, which I think it's its own separate thing. I'm not sure how exactly you connect it, but it does have like grippy things at the bottom, so I'm assuming it's just meant to just lie flush on the desk or something. Also, okay, now that I've established that the monitor actually works, at least the HDMI port, I might as well chill out a little bit for some wholesome family entertainment. Now it is time to prep things up for first boot and installation. First of all, I'm going to move this glorified PlayStation 4 upscaler out of the way so I can have some room for some fancy-ass computer machine parts. Making preparations for first boot. First gotta plug shit in. Monitor. Monitor is go. Keyboard. Other peripherals. Ooh, look at you with your fancy-ass, like, USB 3.0 covers. They're even green. Now to plug this into what seems like the many, like USB 3.0, there's one. And here is the other. Okay. I really gotta stop doing this lone hat. Let me get myself a tripod or some shit. There we go. This thing prides itself on being a Wi-Fi thing, but I still use the good old Ethernet cable. And thank fuck this motherboard has like one of those Ethernet port slots, because otherwise I would have had to choke a bitch. Get the fuck down there, you. Get. Yeah. Then again, I'm not a YouTube partner. I don't have a big ass fancy fucking desk. This is excitement. I'm about to give life to a fucking computer machine. Don't forget about the safety switch. Okay. There's LEDs. It has signs of life. That means the motherboard's actually working. Ha 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 ha. This is gonna be so glorious when I turn this thing on. Shit's plugged in. Monitor is on. It's fucking conquering time. Please don't burst into flames on me. It's alive! It's fucking alive! Well, not yet, because I have yet to install the operating system on this thing. Thankfully, the motherboard thing has like onboard lights to sort of determine exactly what's going on. So for this thing, I'm going to switch back to HDMI because I am a fucking boomer. Yeah, it's definitely something to do. Yeah, things are happening. Initializing first setup. Now, wait a minute, that's all I needed to do in order to get the BIOS to fucking work? I just had to push a fucking button to update the fucking BIOS automatically? Okay, well, CPU temperature 41 degrees, 39 degrees Celsius, which I'm assuming is the optimal thing. I'm assuming that's the optimal thing, provided all the fans are working and the AIO cooler is doing its job. I did imply the thermal paste, which is why this isn't skyrocketing to like 90 degrees Celsius. It's detected that. Both RAM chips are good to go. CPU fan and the AIO cooler's fan is working. And the motherboard fan is working as well. Mouse pointer could use some work, but then again it's the BIOS, but at least I know that the keyboard and the mouse work automatically and I don't have to go online to download any drivers immediately. Time set, 9:30 Saskatchewan time, July 10th, 2022. Phase of Leap Planet succeeds in, well, I still have yet to install the operating system, but I have pretty much built a complete computer machine from scratch, and things are working. It's not exactly bursting into flames.
Okay, now to install the operating system on this. Yeah, easier said than done. Back in my day, stuff came out on CD and you didn't have to rely on some download like on some website you might not even exist 2 years later. And to think, there's actually people out there who actually want to go all out and switch this all digital system, and to them I ask, Are those people fucking retarded? Yeah, I'm not too entirely comfortable with the idea of putting all my stuff onto some online-only server because, yeah, servers are just some other dude's hard drive. I mean, what if some stupid virgin or on their end fucks around or deletes the stuff on the server and, like, gets rid of all my stuff simply because Kimberly or whatever the fuck that stupid whore's name was didn't want to go out to the prom with them that night? And what if some pussy with a proxy fucks around with said internet connection so I can't remotely connect to said servers? Yeah, I think I'd be a little bit more comfortable with like having all my shit stored locally and backed up all my important installation data backed up on a CD located like near me, located near where I live in the same country. But apparently you can download all the installation files of Windows 10 or 11 right from their website, from Microsoft's website. Put it all on like a USB device or a CD drive. Fuck, where's my script? And if you plug in said drive into the PC during boot up while it's checking the BIOS and shit, it should auto-install like Windows 10 or 11 like automatically because somehow that works. Best part is, if you have a computer machine that actually has like Windows 7 or newer that was actually pre-installed on it, there should be a sticker located somewhere on like said computer machine that should have the activation code or whatever, and it will work according to the people at the PC repair place because, and yeah, it will seriously work because at some point Microsoft was really fucking persistent in trying to force like an auto upgrade on this laptop at some point, and it has like Windows 7. So, anyways, now to install Windows 10 on my cinder block using a USB drive. What the fuck are those kids doing on my lawn again? What the?
USB slot is good to go. Let's fucking do this. Yeah. 64-bit baby. And since it's an M2 drive or an M2 slot, it should be perfectly fine. I mean, yeah, if it's like now the mouse is working perfectly fine, now the mouse is not going like at the speed of 2 miles an hour. Yep. Install this shit. Get it started. Let's see if I can get this right this time. Accept the license terms, whatever. Install my fucking goddamn fucking program. This is gonna take a bit. I might as well grab myself a beer and be patient. Okay, perfect. Shit's almost ready for installation. Well, you'd think that with an M2 drive this thing would be instantaneous, but I guess Windows 10 really was that like fucking like super massive when it comes to shit. Initializing setup, almost ready up. Good to go. And now to wait 8 million years, because I heard Windows 10 takes like 8 billion years for it to shut down and start because of the updates and shit. Shit's happening. Shit is happening? Hell yeah, there we go. Getting shit ready, up to go. Okay, they weren't lying about Windows 10 taking like 8 billion years to fucking load, but as long as shit is working properly in the end, I will not fucking give a shit. And at least I know that the USB 3.0 thing actually functions on this thing and I like hooked it up correctly, because that is working. Wait, things are happening. Yes. I don't exactly live in the States. I live in Canada. Which is unfortunately at the very top of this fucking list, so this will take a little bit of a while. Christmas Island! I still get a kick of that, out of that. Oh crap, there we go. I'll just go with that. One that works. Second keyboard layout. how about you load my fucking thing? And now for a nice strategic shot of my keyboard while I wait for this thing to... Why did it not accept my fucking network key? You want your PC to be discoverable? No, I don't want my shit being discovered by other people. You know, it was kind of a little bit of a pain in the ass getting the fucking, like, passcodes from, like, the router thing because my router's kind of all the way on the other side of the room. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass whenever I type it in and then it doesn't fucking register unless I push the fucking button on the router automatically, which I should have done to begin with. Yes, we got through this part of the setup. Now can we get through and boot to the fucking, like, operating system already? Install my shit, get shit done? I gotta put in my fucking Skype account? Okay, so I did that. I don't need to... Let them... You really gotta use my... No, fuck off. I don't fucking care. I just want to boot this thing to fucking operating system. Find my device. Oh, find my device. Oh, this computer machine is right fucking here. I guess maybe this applies if I had this thing installed on a fucking tablet or some shit, but no, I intend on having this computer machine right here in my fucking house. So, not yet. No. I don't care what kind of lewds I look up on, like, anime girls and all that stuff. I just want to do this important shit. Improve No, I don't need this. Go away. Ads? You're putting ads in my fucking operating system? No. Wait, no. I don't fucking care. I don't need targeted ads. I just want a fucking operating system. Remind me later. Jesus Christ, no wonder. Okay, now I know why I didn't like update. Now I know why I didn't upgrade to like Windows 10 for my Windows 7 computer machine, because I would have had to deal with shit like this on a regular fucking basis. Don't care. I'll install like Microsoft Office later. I already have an Xbox One. Don't care. No. Don't care about your Cortana. Boot this thing to the fucking operating system. My camera is almost low. We're getting everything ready for you. Oh, what? Do I need to like put another fucking like security key for my router or some shit? How about I give you like my social insurance number too? Okay. Are you sure this is Are you sure this is the OS? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to like introduce me to a bunch of other things? Microsoft Edge. I'll use that to download like Google Chrome and just forget about it. Yeah, I think I understand why I chose to not update this thing from Windows 7 to Windows 10, because I would have had to deal with a lot of shit. Land driver and armory car. Another fucking app? Oh, wait. I forgot that's important to the motherboard. Okay, so after all that shit is done, I finally managed to build a computer. I finally managed to boot this thing to OS. Now let's see what crazy shit that Windows 10 has to offer. Let's see, it's got... I don't care about any of this stuff in the bottom here. Ooh, weather! And it's accurate, too! Alright, let's... What the fuck did you guys do to the goddamn start menu on this thing? Microsoft Paint seems to be replaced with this pseudo fucking Photoshop looking thing. That's what I think about it. Real monsters. But yeah, it'll take me a while to get used to this pseudo Photoshop looking thing compared to like regular MS Paint, which, you know, works. Okay, I've figured out a way to get rid of all the fucking ads and malware crap from the start menu, so at least it sorta looks like an actual start menu this time. Alrighty, I had to go through a bunch of fucking menus in order to get this part to go up. Ooh, NVIDIA stuff. Oh yeah, I can't wait to activate the RTX on this baby. You know, they could have just put the My Computer icon up here, along with the network neighborhood, and you could tell that, hey you kids, get the fuck off my lawn. But yeah, you gotta go through all this shit in order to get the My Computer icon back on here on Windows 10. Why do I have fucking, like, hoof hands? There we go. Now it's like starting to, now everything's starting to like take its form. Operating system, you know what? This desktop is missing a little something. I thought it said dick track for a minute there. Okay, so, is it actually going to recognize one of these USB devices without sending me 8 billion notifications? Let's see. It's a USB 2.0, so it should be backwards compatible. Ah, perfect. Huh, okay, that's pretty neat. It has like a detailed graphing. That's a nice like feature while it uploads all the ROMs onto this thing. One cool feature as opposed to like everything else so far, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with all the whole like having to sync shit up to God knows what. Like I said, it took a while for it to sync up all the shitty games of the SNES collection. Okay, I can see what the hell the purpose of this shit is. Yeah, apparently OneDrive is fucking activated. I don't really trust putting all my shit onto a certain server because, you know, servers is just basically another guy's hard drive. How was I supposed to know that, like, initially shit will just, like, automatically sync up with OneDrive online on a fucking, like, server? And then deleting stuff off OneDrive deletes them off this fucking computer machine as well, so I have to go and do this entire process all over again? No, I gotta do this. It is quite important. Choose picture. Excellent! Haha! Now this is my computer machine! It's fitting how the initial cute anime girl wallpaper thing that I always do in these videos is that of a dim-witted raven lady that was somehow inexplicably given the power of nuclear fusion. Much like RTX on, baby! And perfect, it's registering my fucking file. I swear, with every one of these new versions, they have less and less shit. Bubbles, what we got? Too fruity. I could all mystify your mind. Photo album, ribbons. Okay, that looks cool. No 3D maze, 0 out of a million. Look, part of the reason why I didn't install this thing during the initial process is not just because I forgot, but you know, when it comes to like the BIOS settings on modern computer machines, that allows you to, you know, it allows you a choice to boot up to operating system from a certain storage device if you have multiple ones of these things connected. Yeah, I kind of deliberately left this thing out because I didn't want to accidentally install Windows 10 on the wrong device. So naturally, I kind of went with the M.2. I sound like a fucking geek when I say it like that. So yeah, naturally these things tend to have like a lot better like read-rewrite speeds, and I kind of want to use this for storage anyway. So yeah. Of course, naturally, when it comes to like any sort of like post-build process, you gotta unplug everything, including the power supply, which is quite important. Don't forget the switch too, either. Oh yeah, I forgot the drive bay was a little bit of a clusterfuck, but since this is a well-designed case, fractal design, yeah, you can easily install like storage devices on this backplate here, which is as simple as unscrewing this thing and putting this thing in the back there and hooking up the right cables. Okay, unscrew that there. Nice fancy back shot of the motherboard and the CPU thingy. It's as simple as putting this thing on there, connecting cables, and putting shit back on there. Seems epic enough. Okay. There we go, and it should fit just like that. Now for some cable management, and let's see if I can like shrink down to fucking ant size and see if I can get myself down there. And I'll just do the easy part and connect the SSD to like the motherboard first, because the SATA ports are right there in the middle there, and they're kind of easy to get to. There's also a couple here due to this X570 configuration. So let's get the easy part out of the way. Shit should be snug right there. Shit that connects this SATA device to the motherboard is clicked up and good to go. The rest of it is through the fucking rabbit hole to the other side. And now for the one that connects to the power, which, okay, and thing connected to the power. Oh god, you fucking got, jeez, you gotta fucking force it in like that? I kind of question that because, especially in this particular setup, that I don't want to feel like I'm breaking things, but yet you gotta like force some of these things in sometimes. Until they like click and shit. SATA drive things are right over there in the back end. This is gonna hurt a bit. Jesus, oh fucking hell, that's a bit of a tight fucking squeeze. Oh yeah, I managed to rearrange one of the cables there, but yeah, now that thing is connected to the power supply. Everything's all hooked up now for, you know, to me, I really fucking hope this works. Okay, so after some technological fuckery involving, you know, getting this shit, like, this thing needs to be required to have an internet connection just to load the fucking BIOS. Yeah, as you can kind of see there, it recognized my, my SDD device thingy in the back there. Of course, it's the 480 gigs, so, which is good enough for storage and other shit. Whoops! The BIOS kinda had that set to disabled. And the mouse tends to go like 8 miles an hour. Yeah, I'll just enable that. Make sure it actually fucking reads the goddamn thing, and God, you gotta fucking force the fucking mouse here? Yeah, save my changes. Yes, I will fuck you. What? It seems that Windows is recognizing my SDD and it is working properly, so, why the fuck is it not registering onto this thing here? Dynamic disk, MBR, oh god, what the fuck am I getting myself into? But, okay, I just haven't been clicking in the right places. This is probably where I'll assign some shit. Yes, I want the biggest fucking number imaginable. D, that's usually reserved for like optical disk drives, but I don't really have one installed right now, so why the fuck not? Format, NFTS, sure. Hopefully this will register things into the thingy and not... Yeah, okay, that means shit's going to work. Yes! It recognized my, like, SDD thing, and it's empty right now. Perfect. I managed to get both an SDD and an M2 drive, like, installed on this thing, so... You're fucking You do realize I am the administrator. I make the fucking rules. And appropriately, I name it storage. Hey, Pixar! Get your shit together, I'm trying to film a video here. Now to install the back panel of this thing, now that everything's all like connected and working and shit. See, this is like the benefit of having like a good PC case, because normally you think that like most PC case you'd have the thing on the side, like sliding in from the side, and it might be a little of a problem because it might pinch some shit, but since this is a very good like well designed like PC case, you can just like easily hinge things together like this. And then screw things together like thusly. And now for the front panel, which I will finally remove the protective film. Yeah, I really hope I'm wearing pants this time when I'm filming this shot. Oh, this fucking power cord's in the way. Yeah. It's not gonna get in the way of the glass too much. And now to install, like, the final fucking... You can kind of tell that I had like at least 3 or 4 drinks before filming this segment, and since this is here, and the front panel of this glass case will kind of vary depending on model, but here it's just easy screw-on screws, which you can tighten with your hands and not have to use like a fucking screwdriver for it. And magicazam! I kind of like rearranged some shit around, so this should be the finished product, which I will use to no doubt tell everybody on social media about that, hey, I built a fucking PC by myself with like brand new parts and shit, and it's gonna be glorious. I really hope it doesn't explode when I turn it on because I rearranged shit. Truly, it is a sense of beauty. And it's not catching fire, which is good. Love it. Yeah. Oh, I'm bumping my hands on shit. Why do I have to live in such a tiny apartment? Ah, that quickly. Are you ready to try a new No, I don't care about Microsoft Edge. It's just Microsoft Internet Explorer, but like, slightly better? Are like modern computer machines really supposed to be this quiet? Like, everything's functioning normally, but I'm not hearing anything. It's like completely silent. It's awesome. Oh, I love this fucking keyboard. Yeah! My motherboard comes with like installation disc or whatnot. Yeah, that's the motherboard I went with. It probably contains like a lot of really cool goodies and stuff like, cool. The manual itself, kind of details what's like available on the DVD. Let's see what we got. We got, you know, RGB shit, WinRare, that's a good thing. You know, it's been a very long time since I've done one of these redneck science experiments, so let's get going. No, this microwave still works. You live! Well, at least I know that the event viewer thing's still, like, existing. I'm ashamed I have to go through, like, 5 or 6 different options and, like, a bunch of fucking menus and shit in order to access this thing in the first place. Ah, weather! And it's mostly accurate. Let's see. Ooh, I can click on it. Yeah, it's mostly news stories and shit. I like how it's like also giving me traffic notifications. Construction? Where? Last I checked, the roads are still shit here in Regina. 16 road closures. You'd think that number would be like skyrocketing to at least 100. Let's see, what else is there? We got 40 traffic collisions in the last 24 hours. Oh, that's, it must be a slow day, and, this thing apparently has 3 cinder blocks. Huh? That's it? That's all the options there is for the control panel? It's simple, to the point. No. Where is the rest of my shit? Please don't, like, fucking show up Microsoft Edge again. Ah, perfect. Yeah, right now we've got, nothing. Because I haven't gotten anything hooked up yet at this point, so yeah, I'll probably do that after this video. Okay, let's see how the print screen works. You know, the first time I did that, there was a fucking notification to save it to OneDrive, because apparently Microsoft's really fucking fond of that program for some reason. There's more options in the start menu, like settings screen, than there is in the actual control panel. Yeah, I'm definitely turning these off, because I don't want, like, Windows, like, giving me notifications every 5 seconds about suggested shit. Hey, Phase of Leap Planet, I hear you've recently been jerking off to images of Sinon from Sword Art Online. Might I suggest these animes? And then it gives you a list of, like, a bunch of animes, and, like, half of them are either, like, Senran Kagura or Hyperdimension Neptunia, because apparently single and desperate are, like, the exact same words. What Microsoft Windows sees, it's like Microsoft Windows is like, I see that you like putting cute anime girls as your desktop wallpaper in your videos, and you call yourself Phase of Leap Planet of all things, and then it gives you like a list of suggestions, and it's like a list of all like mental health and like rehab centers all over Saskatchewan. I really hate the start menu for Windows 10. Yeah, this thing's also connected to my Xbox Live account. I make a wisecrack about, like, the Xbox One underachieving again. This thing just straight up refuses to work anymore. Haha! You made fun of me, now I'm in control of your system. Who's laughing now, bitch? Seriously, the Xbox One has underachieved so hard this generation.
Be sure to like subscribe to my channel and stuff if you like more of my videos.
Yeah, and bring some nachos too.
Hey, Carl Swipe, can't you see I'm trying to like score the viewer here?
Oh yeah. Welcome to another edition of Play It Through.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thanks for watching. All 7 people. Off I go to do other things outside of YouTube. See you all around. It even comes with styrofoam!